Salvete, welcome to this video lesson on Fabulae Syrae. We're looking at 26, Fabulae Syrae 26, to accompany chapter 26 of Lingua Latina per se illustrata. And we are in the third section of this, the third story, Europa. Europa bona et pulchra virgo Graeca fuit. Europa was a good and beautiful Greek maiden or unmarried woman. Now, I always like to point out that she wasn't actually Greek. She's actually from Phoenicia, so technically she is Phoenician. She's in a Greek myth, so that's probably why we're saying she's Greek here, but technically she is Phoenician. Now, her name is going to be taken as the title for Europe, the continent, later on. According to some versions, she ends up, when Zeus takes her here, he takes her to Crete, and others, he ends up taking her to the mainland in Europe. But in any case, Europe is named after her. Okay, quae dum cum aliis puerlis in campo ludit, who, while she was playing with other girls in a field, currit, she was running, pilam jacet, she was throwing a ball, floresque carpindo delectator, while she was delighted in picking flowers, subito, suddenly, magnum et album taurum vidit, she saw a big and white bull. Now, this is a typical thing that Zeus does, right? Turn into an animal to have his way with some poor mortal woman that he wants to have an affair with. And usually this is explained in the myths as he turns into the animals to escape the prying eyes of Juno or Hera, so she doesn't know he's having an affair. Of course, she always finds out in the end. But this is why he's turned into a big white bull. Quim cum primum conspexerunt, whom when they first caught sight of, him, we would say in English, and of course the him is the bull, which is Zeus. Amicae eius perterritae fugerunt clamantes. Her girlfriends, that is, Europa's girlfriends, frightened, perterritae, fled, ran away, shouting. Taurus autem non saevus esse videbatur. However, the bull did not seem to be savage. Itaque Europa, quae minime metuebat, et taurum proprius vidindi cupida erat. So Europa, who feared very little, minime, and was desirous, cupida erat, of seeing the bull closer, propius is the comparative of prope, ad eam accedens, approaching towards him, manus sua titigit, she touched him with her hand. Now, if you've not seen titigi before, or forms of that, titigi is the third principal part of tongo tongere, to touch. So you might be more familiar with tongo tongere, of course, where we get tangible from. So she touched the bull, manusua, with her hand. Taurus mugiwit, the bull mugiwit, right? So this is a sound word. He mooed, he bellowed, he made a cow sound, right? Europa vero, but Europa, herbas ex campo carptas tauro dedit, gave, dedit, the grasses or the plants, herbas, picked from the field, carptas ex campto, to the bull, tauro, dative case. All right, and then this qui clause will describe the bull. Qui eas edindo laetabatur, who was pleased by or in eating them. Okay, he had fun eating the herbs, the plants, directly from her hand. Dende Europa, then Europa, audacior facta, having been made more bold, more daring. Latum tauri tergum spectabat. She looked at the wide back of the bull, atque manu sua tangebat, and she touched it with her hand. Tandem in eius tergum ascendens, concedit. At last, climbing onto his back, she sat. Et o amicae, venite, et me spectate. And she says, come, O my girlfriends, and look at me. Videte me in tauri tergo sedentem. See me sitting on the back of the bull. Statim autem taurus, however, immediately the bull, qui humia cebat, who was lying on the ground, surgens ad maris oram curre coipit. Getting up, surgens began to run to the edge of the sea. In other words, the seashore, oram, maris. Europa clamavit perterrita. Europa shouted, frightened. Amicae eus flentes et lacrimantes, her girlfriends weeping and crying, in litus ad adiuvandum cucurrerunt, ran to the shore, in litus, to the beach, ad adiuvandum, to help. Neque vero Europam, quae tauro vehebatur, conseque potuerunt. Nor indeed could they, potuerunt, catch up with, consequi, Europa, who was being carried by the bull. Of course, the bull is Zeus, so it's super fast. Taurus enim, for the bull. Campo relicto, with the field left behind. There's another ablative absolute. Oceanum petivit, sought out the ocean. Atque in magnos mares fluctus intrans natabat, and entering, intrans, into the big waves of the sea, it was swimming, natabat. Okay, and we can see this here in the picture. Europa is being carried by the bull, which is going into the waves, and her girlfriends are watching from the shore. Postquam vero in altum pervenerunt, but after they had come onto the deep, he says, inquit, non taurus sed Jupiter, deorum hominumque pater sum. I am not a bull, but Jupiter, the father of gods and of human beings. Noli autem temere. However, don't be afraid. Non enim malusum, for I'm not bad. Neque tibi nocere volo, nor do I want to hurt you. Nam non nocindi causa, for not for the sake of hurting, sed amore tui captus, but captivated by love of you. Te rapere constitui. I decided to kidnap you. Now, of course, this word that we keep getting for kidnapping, rapere, to snatch, to grab, is where we get rape from. And of course, he is not a good person. He has lots of affairs with mortal women and with other goddesses outside of his marriage with Hera. Zeus is not a good person. He's not. And even the ancients, a lot of Romans and Greeks recognized that the myths make him out to be this really awful person. So thoughtful people in the ancient world thought either this is all nonsense, or, it's some kind of maybe a metaphor or, some type of allegory to describe this. It doesn't mean that this really happened. But certainly it provided plenty of bad models, we could say, for regular, powerful men to do awful things to women however they wanted to in the ancient world, in this kind of patriarchal society, which was very frequently misogynistic, showing hatred or disdain toward women. And so, if anybody ever tells you something like this, you should not trust them. Europa igitur, Europa therefore, quae initio valde matuerat, who had very much been afraid at the beginning, initio, timorem suum deposuit, put aside her fear. Okay, so she trusted him. Oh, he's not a bad guy, he just loves me. Poor Europa. You need a better version of your story. Neque iam flebat, nor now was she crying. Mox vero, but soon ad novam terram pervenerunt, they came to a new land, ubi taurus puella deposita, where the bull with the girl set down or deposited, ad divinam suam formum rediit, returned to his divine form. Post breve tempus, after a short time, Europam uxorem duxit, he led Europa as his wife, he married her. No, he didn't. Bad version of the myth. Okay. He didn't marry her. He was already married to Hera. Basically, he had his way with her, right? This is totally euphemistic, okay? Et eam terram ad quam simul cum ea pervenerat Europam appellavit. And he named that land to which he had come along with her, Europe. Okay, so this explains the naming of Europe. He never married her. Don't buy it. Okay, number 4, Cornelia. Now, this is a Roman legend, and this one is probably pretty much true. We don't have any real reason to doubt this. This is from a historical period in the 2nd century BC. Cornelia bona et proba femina Romana fuit. Cornelia was a good and decent Roman woman. Quae duos habuit filios, who had 2 sons, coram alteri Tiberius, alteri Gaius nomina errant, to whom the one was named Tiberius, or to whom Tiberius was the name and of one, and to the other Gaius was the name. Sorry. It is just a little bit difficult. In Latin, it's totally clear what this is. So the quorum is the of whom, the alteri first is the to, the one of which, and then the alteri second is to the other of which. Okay, so to the first of whom, Tiberius was the name, to the second of whom, Gaius was the name. Okay? Philos Cornelia valde amabat. Cornelia very much loved her sons. Atque ab iis amabatur, and was loved by them. Now, I should note here that these Tiberius and Gaius here, these are the Gracchi brothers, as we know them by in Roman history. The Gracchi brothers are famous land reformers. They were politicians that were kind of, they favored the common people somewhat over the aristocrats, and they wanted to make sure that the common people had enough land to support themselves in farming and so on. So they wanted to basically take some of the property that some of the very, very wealthy Romans had and reassign that so that people had enough land to make a living. Regular old people would not go poor and starve. All right, so these are Tiberius and Gaius. Olem femina Romana, once a Roman woman, nomine Tullia, by the name of Tullia, Corneliam visit, visited Cornelia. Cupida ornamenta sua ostidendi, desirous of showing her jewelry, showing off her jewelry. That is to say, Tullia came to show Cornelia her jewelry. Quae, who, and again this refers to Tullia, superbe monstrans gemmas, haughtily, proudly showing off her gems, quas indigitis et in collo gerebat, which she wore on her fingers and on her neck. She says, inquit, multas novas et pulchras gemmas habeo. I have many new and beautiful gems, quae me valde delectant, which very much delight me. Specta, look at them. Aspice hos analos. Look at these rings. Has lenias margaritarum, these strings of pearls. Has gemmas pretiosas, these precious gems, quas mihi virmeus magna pecunia emit, which my husband bought for me with big money, with lots of money. Quam pulchra sunt haec ornamenta, how beautiful are these pieces of jewelry. Non te delectant haec gemmae, don't these gems delight you? Cornelia vero, but Cornelia, quae tam superba verba audiendo non laetabatur, who was not pleased, was not happy in hearing such haughty words. Gemmas aspiciens, looking at the gems, respondit, answered, Ita est, O Tullia, mihi anem pulchrae videntur esse gemmae. So it is, O Tullia. To me, indeed, the gems seem to be beautiful. Quas maritus tuus tibi emit, which your husband bought for you. Okay, so she doesn't say anything mean specifically to her, right? She's saying, oh yeah, those look nice. Your husband bought you those. Certe ille valde te amat. Certainly he loves you very much. Ego quoque tamen pulchras gemmas habeo. I also, however, or nevertheless, have beautiful gems. Ein vero, ait Tullia. What are you saying, says Tullia, O mea Cornelia, O my Cornelia, Ostine pulchras has gemas tuas. Show me those beautiful gems of yours. Studiosissima enim sum eus aspiciendi. For I am most eager for looking at them or to look at them. Okay, aspiciendi literally is a gerund there, so it's literally of looking at, but we would say to look at them. Cornelia igitur, therefore Cornelia, surgens, getting up, wokat, calls, O filii, venite huc, come here, Tiberius et Gaius, matris voce audita, accorrentes in atrium intrant. Tiberius and Gaius, with the voice of their mother having been heard, there's another ablative absolute, voce audita, running into the atrium, enter it. Quos Cornelia, digito monstrans, whom Cornelia, pointing at with her finger, or we would say Cornelia pointing at them with her finger in English. Ecce inquit, she says, look, ge my mei, my gems. Filii enem mei ornamenta mea sunt, for my sons are my jewelry. Nullas alias gemas cupio. I don't want any other gems. Okay, so obviously the point that she's making is that a good Roman woman doesn't need fancy gems and jewelry. Having good children is all that a good Roman mother needs, right? Now, and of course, as I said, these two sons of hers are very famous in Roman history as reformers, trying to resettle some of the problems in Roman society. Roman society had a lot of problems with wealth filtering up to the top, and of course, we talk about the 1% today, but Roman society was very unbalanced at times, and there were people just starving constantly because they didn't even have enough land to be able to work hard and provide for themselves with. So she had good reason to be proud of her sons who tried to help reset that balance. All right, number 5, Tarpeia. Olim Sabini, once the Sabines, qui in Latio habitabant, who lived in Latium. Latium is the area right around Rome. It's, of course, where the Latini lived, the Latin tribes. Magno exercitu Romanos hoste suos opugnaverunt, attacked opugnaverunt the Romans, their enemies, hoste suos, with a big army, magno exercitu. So the Sabines were a neighboring tribe. Of course, you might know the myth of the rape of the Sabine women. When Romulus founded Rome, he attracted a bunch of kind of criminal men by making Rome an asylum, but then he didn't have any women to be their wives, so they invited the Sabine tribe from nearby to join them for a festival. And then at one point in the festival, they shouted out, grab the women, right? And so then they grabbed all the Sabine women and they ran away with them. And there almost was a big war, but the women decided that they didn't want their new husbands fighting with their brothers and fathers and killing each other. So eventually it all got settled down. And the second king of Rome, the king after Romulus, was Numa Pompilius, and he was actually a Sabine. So the Sabines, who lived very close to the Latini in early Rome, were, part of this early period, early on. Okay, qui quidem, who indeed, and here again we're talking about the Sabines, portis clausis, with the gates closed. Oh wait, this is actually the Romans. Who indeed, the Romans indeed, with their gates closed, urbem suam defendere conabantur, were trying to defend their own city. Okay, so we got the Sabines outside, big army, Romans closed in. Sabini vero, but the Sabines, fortissime pugnantes, fighting very bravely, urbem paene caperunt, have almost captured the city. Romani, the Romans, qui strenui milites erant, who were vigorous or active soldiers, breves gladios, galleas exferofactas, longas hastas gerebant, bore short swords, helmets made out of iron, and long lances. Quibus simper parati erant ad pugnandum, with which they were always prepared for fighting. At Sabini, quoque optima arma habebant, but the Sabines also had very good arms or weapons. In brachio sinistro vero, indeed on their left arm, quo scuta tenebant, on which they held their shields. Armilas aureas guerrere solebant. They were accustomed to wear golden armbands or bracelets, armilas. You can see that in the picture to the side. Tarpeia, quae improba et mala puella romana fuit. Tarpeia, who was a bad, improba, and evil, mala, girl, Roman girl, ea sabinorum ornamenta, quae procul ex Romae moneis in sole Lucintia conspexerat, habere cupiebat. She wanted, cupiebat, to have, habere, those ornaments of the Sabines, those decorations of the Sabines. Of course, we're talking about the armbands, which, quae, she had sighted, had seen, conspexerat, from a distance from the walls of Troy, gleaming, Lucentia, in the sun. Et enim pulcherrima esse videbantur, for to her they seemed to be very beautiful. Okay, so this is kind of the contrast with Cornelia. Cornelia was like, I don't even need any jewelry. I just got my sons and they're decent, good boys, and that's all I need. And this is Tarpeia, evil Roman girl, lusting after the jewelry. I've got to have it. Doesn't matter what I do to get it. Quoniam igitur. Since, therefore, cupidissima facta erat, she had become very desirous, illud aurum habendi, of having that gold, noctu, at night, ex urbe exiet, she left from the city, she went out of the city, quia sabinorum castra petere volebat, because she wanted to seek out the camp of the Sabines. Postquam illuc pervenit, after she came there, she arrived there, O Sabini inquit, she says, O Sabines, si mihi dabitis ea, quae in brachii sinistris geritis, if you shall give me those things which you are wearing on your left arms, and of course she means the armilae, bracelets, statim vobis portas aperiam, I will immediately open the gates for you all, vobis, et viam monstrabo, and I will show you the way, qua in urbem ingredi poteritis, by which you will be able to enter into the city. Itaque Sabini, and so the Sabines, qui cupidissimi erant urbem expugnandi, who were very desirous of conquering the city, Tarpeiam secuti, having followed Tarpeia, ad portas urbis pervenerunt, arrived at the gates of the city, quas Tarpeia statim aperuit, which Tarpeia opened immediately. Hostes in urbem ingressi, the enemy, having entered into the city, impetu in Romanos facto, brevi eos vicerunt, atque magnam praedam caperunt. With an attack made, impetu facto, against the Romans in Romanus, soon conquered them, brevi eos vicerunt, and took great loot. Okay, praeda is loot or booty. It's what you take after you defeat somebody in battle, all the treasure and so on. Okay, so this is not good for Rome. Tarpeia. Postquam multos homines interfecerunt, after they had killed many men, and these of course are Romans, domos incenderant, they had burned many houses, ornamenta numos et alias res pretiosas abstulerant, they had stolen coins and other precious things. Iam feci pugnando, now tired of fighting, et studiosi in patriam suum revertindi, and desirous of returning or eager for returning to their country, Tarpeiam praemium expectantem apud portas conspexerunt, they caught sight of Tarpeia waiting for her reward at the gates. What's she going to get? O Tarpeia, dixerunt. O Tarpeia, they said. Quamquam mala et improba femina nobis videris esse. Although you seem to be a evil and wicked woman to us, although you seem to us to be an evil and wicked woman, dabimus tamen, nevertheless we will give, ut polliciti sumus, as we promised, ea quae in brachiis nostris sinistris gerimus, those things which we are wearing on our left arms. Tarpeia laeta ad milites accessit. Tarpeia, happy, went up to the soldiers. Qui quidem redintes, who, indeed, laughing, in eam non armilas, sed gravissima sua scuta jecerunt, threw on her not their bracelets, but their very heavy shields. Tarpeia, multis scutis oppressa, overwhelmed or pressed down by many shields, ad terram cacidit, fell to the earth, et mortua ibi jacuit, and she lay there dead. Okay, so basically you have the whole army throw your shields on top of you, you get squished, you die. All right, so moral of the story, be more like Cornelia, don't care about jewelry so much as a Roman woman, don't be like Tarpeia, Roman women shouldn't be like this. Okay, well, I hope you learned a few things there about vocabulary, grammar, about Roman culture, history. And yeah, let's not be like Tarpeia. Valete omnes.